Good morning. It is Thursday morning. Where is the week going? How can I be so unbusy, but so busy, and the weeks just go by? Anyway, I'm kind of glad. That means I am 2 months post-op and doing well, and every day gets better. And that's a good thing. I have my fiber t-shirts out. A daily dose of fiber. Yay, all the fiber animals. And it's bringing back memories because when I first started streaming last July, which would be my year, coming up on a year now, it was a big deal to wear these and dig them out and find things to wear for the stream. And now I'm lucky if I'm presentable. My hair's combed, my clothes are clean, and there's no body bits showing. Anyway, we do get more comfortable with the streaming, don't we, as we go on. And I am glad of that because that really is what this is all about. Just being ourselves and being ourselves with you as a viewer. Whether you're here live for the chat or watching it later on. And I do strongly encourage you, if you've catching this for the first time, go to my channel on Twitch, Yarn Spinner's Tales, and check out the few weeks that are there. After that, I am putting them up on a YouTube channel, and they're a little harder to find. You almost have to, you can't really Google Yarn Spinner's Tales. You have to sort of have a topic in mind, so just do spinning and something will pop up. Anyway, I have leftovers, not only for food, but in spinning. And because I was working on alpaca, and you can see this beautiful skein that came out. I was going for bulky, I was going for a little thick and thin, I was going for fuzzy. This is alpaca and Tunis. It's got a little bit of glitz in it, and I am so happy with this. I did it on my Ara. I guessed close to 300. It was 278 yards or something like that. So it's going to be a wonderful project to do something with. I'm really happy with it. But I have some alpaca left. As I was going through that bag of a very, very old project started with the alpaca and Tunis, as I was going through that, I found some combed alpaca, and I have that. I have some bits and bobs that were left over when I was doing the blending board project, so I'm going to spin that today, and I decided to use my Roberta today. So let's do it. There we go. This is the bag I have. It doesn't look like a lot, but it'll probably spin pretty thin. I've got this bag that has glitz in it. It came off the blending board. I had left over just straight alpaca that's combed. And I have a few where I tried to comb the Tunis. So that's mostly what's in here is, I have a little reminder here. It tells me that you can't see that spin. Like I wouldn't, right? Like I wouldn't know. That's what I want to do. So I'm just going to kind of work on this mixed up, and I'm going to be ending up making yarn that is very similar to what I just showed you, because it's going to be the Tunis, and it's just not going to be maybe as thick. I probably will make it thinner. We'll see how it goes. The Tunis might make it want to spin thicker, which is good. Then it would be more in keeping with what we just made this last week. Oh, so let's see how the Roberta's feeling today. You're feeling like a speed demon. Yes, you are. Let's slow you down a little bit here. There we go. I also have, oh yeah, I can do this, about the same thickness by doing a semi-woolen long draw. Um, I also have a tiny bit, oh, I think, oh, here it is, a tiny bit of the single, alpaca single that I used to ply the great big skein. So I will go ahead and try and use that up too. So it, like I said, it's all leftovers today. Nothing wrong with leftovers, is there? So it is summertime, which is one of the reasons I was comfortable getting out the short sleeve shirt. We are heading for the 90s. Not today, in a couple days. We are on a real dry stretch. Gotta water a few things. Like, I have strawberry plants that are producing strawberries right now. If I can keep the animals out of them, which means I gotta get them covered with a net, and keep them watered so that they don't just dry up, I'll have strawberries. Hi, Jammy. How are you? Let's see. Did you get your fiber yet? I know you're done with your socks. I think you... Did you submit them? Still spinning alpaca. And Tunis. This should be the end of it. Gonna make a skein that maybe will fill out the big skein that I got, which was, you know, not quite 280 yards. So, oh yeah, I'll get more net, but at least I'll have a larger amount to work with when I do something with it. It came! And your socks are submitted. You're on to round 5. That is so awesome. I am so rooting for you. Yes, it's semi, and there really is no technically such a thing. But the reason is, let me get another piece of fiber here. Now this one has more alpaca. Oh, this is 100% alpaca. Let me get some with the Tunis in it. Here we go. The reason it's that, if you watch my drafting zone here, after I get going, you'll see there's quite a bit of distance between my two hands. And a long drafting area right here, where the twist is running into it without me stopping it. That's why it's a woolen. It is a long draw. It's not the kind of long draw you see a lot of times when people go throwing their arms back behind them. One, that's pretty hard on your shoulder, and two, I can't draft this out quite that far. It'll fall apart. So I am just doing what I call it's definitely semi-woolen. That is what the yarn is that I'm spinning would be called, but I call it a semi-long draw. Okay, now we'll do that alpaca one. I got shortcuts there. And if you watch my hands, you see that I bounce back and forth. Go down to short pinch and pull to keep the fiber flowing. Back off, let it draw out. So it's a long draw with a little bit more control. a cup of tea that I made, and I want to make sure I drink it while it's hot. We just had breakfast. It's really brunch, because it's, just a little after 11 in the morning, my time. And that was to go with my brunch. Good sweet tea. So what I'm spinning, if you didn't catch the very opening, is the fact that I have leftover stuff from when I was making the roll-logs on the blending board, from what I found that was already combed into top in the bag from the project bag. So I'm just spinning all that leftover stuff, and I'm going to do all of the single on this one bobbin of this and use up the alpaca single that I plied the yarn with. So I am using up leftovers tonight, and this will be today, this will be the end of that project. Which was years in the was years in timeout, technically. I have a number of those still stowed away in my fiber room upstairs. We'll be digging those out towards the end of this year. I have a long-term plan, cleaning that fiber room out. It's not my life expectancy, it's shorter than that. And I want to make it 2 years. That's my goal. But I'm not sure I'm counting this year because I can't get up there right now. Right, I can't go up the steps, so I'm going to count 2 years from when the steps are a doable thing for me, which should be in a couple months. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds real nice. So these were top, I'll take it so it doesn't glare so bad, that I tried doing the tunis and the alpaca together. And what I was not happy with it is, you can see I have mostly alpaca in there. You probably can't see it, but it was leaving the tunis on the combs, right? And the length of this top, let me park this. The fact that I pulled off this much means I was using my great big Indigo Hound combs, trying it on the big combs. And this alpaca loves those combs, but the tunis was too short for it. There are 5 rows of teeth in those combs, and it was just not coming out past the 5th row, right? It was just really stuck on there. So I did a little bit here, and I can most certainly spin it and put it to be mostly alpaca. Look at a nice yarn. But it wasn't really what I wanted as the goal, which I ended up having to use the blending board to get the yarn I was really looking for. It's like this section right here, it's all alpaca. It was like, this is not working. A lot of these projects, okay, I did a podcast, and I am going to go back to doing podcasts with the Tour de Fleece, so soon, in June, end of June. But they're not video, they are audio. Yeah, because I started doing them 13 years ago. There was no such thing as a video podcast, really. I mean, there was, but it was much, much easier, and people were very happy to listen to audio podcasts. So I did a spinning podcast all those years. And once I started streaming in July, it was like, okay, I need a break from the audio podcast while I get comfortable with the streaming, get some other things done, and I'll be back. I told my listeners that. And I'm going to go back. Anyway, where was I? So what I would do, when I say I have projects that have been languishing forever, I would think of something that would be a topic for the podcast, right? In this particular case, blending wool and alpaca. Well, alpaca I had lots of, and the wool happened to be a tunis that I had washed and was hanging around, and I thought, okay, we're just going to make the podcast topic about that. Well, I did the few things, like try to comb and card it and talked about it on the podcast. I wasn't necessarily as interested in spinning the yarn because it wasn't video, right? I could say, okay, if I'm going to spin this yarn, I'll do a little sample and I get in so many wraps per inch and that sort of thing. But I wasn't making great big skeins of yarn necessarily for the podcast. Once in a while I was, and I would talk about it, but it takes so long to spin a whole skein of yarn, and you want to get your podcast out every month. You're going to not spin the whole skein of yarn, you're doing other stuff. Anyway, long story short, I would start a ton of projects like this and then stick them away because I really didn't want to spin the yarn then. I was going on, it was the next month, and I was going on and doing another project. And I have any number, I don't talk about works in progress. In fact, that's why my little accumulator down there is works in progress, because I don't talk about knitting or crocheting or anything like that. I am talking about the huge number of skeins of yarn I need to finish. And I'm over exaggerating. It's probably not a huge number, but there's a lot, right? There's a lot. Now I have decided it's time to do that. It's time to finish them. Now this one is a little short. Boy, it's really all wrapped up. Oh, it really wrapped itself up. I made them into little nests, and then the nests got compacted. But here's one end. This one I would have pulled off my hand combs, right? So here's one where, and several where I was trying to make sure if the little hand combs, well, yeah, they worked better. There's only 2 lines of teeth on the hand combs. I got more tunis. I didn't get much alpaca. It was like, okay, neither one's really just right. I'm going to open these up and spread them out a little bit. They are really compacted from being stored. I am streaming very, very early today. I did used to teach at this time, but there's a reason today, because the hubby and I are we're going on an outing, and we are going to go to our nearest big city and stay at a hotel, have a very nice dinner tonight, and just spend one night. If I feel up to it, there are several places we can walk nearby, outside, And if I'm not feeling up to it, that's okay too. And we will wear masks, and except for, when we're seated and eating, we are still, it's been a week since we've had our shot, but they've lifted so much of the gotta wear a mask mandate, and I don't agree with it. I plan to wear masks, and so does hubby. So it'll be safe, and we just are really excited about a little getaway. Little overnighter. Something we used to do all the time after we retired and before the pandemic. So I'm doing this so that we can then pack up and take off. And that leads me to talk about breakfast, because hubby was a sweetheart and made bacon and eggs this morning right before stream, so that's our brunch, right? Because we're not going to eat supper till 7 o'clock, so needed a little something to hold us. And he was a sweetie and did that. I know. We're both excited. Yeah, shoot. It's the little things. Next year, September is our wedding anniversary. Next year, not this year, will be 25 years. So we've been talking about what to do special for that. Planning ahead, because it's probably going to cost money. I don't know, somehow telling him that, I really would like to go buy a spinning wheel for our anniversary present just doesn't work. That'll be, next year's a momentous birthday for me too, so that'll probably be my momentous birthday present. I'll hit one of those birthdays that, oh well, I'm not shy about it. I'm going to turn 70. I'm 69 right now. So anyway, I think that sounds like a wonderful idea for a 70th birthday present. And I'm contemplating what I want to shop for. May change my mind though. Always a possibility. Oh, I just lost my pen. Jamie, which comment are you making for the I hope so? The spinning wheel. Yeah, that's good. Well, it's either that or jewelry, but maybe both. He can get the jewelry. I'm so easy to buy for. He's hard to buy for. He is. He's really hard, even at Christmas time, stuff like that. I've had some other thoughts about spinning wheels, though, too. My daughter has a CPW that needs repaired. She's currently not using it, and she has been turning more towards weaving than spinning. And I'm thinking about offering her, letting me have it for a period of time. I mean, of course, it's hers and it'll stay in the family, but getting it fixed for her and then having that to spin with for a while. Sort of like, a grandchild spinning wheel, right? Come stay at Grandma's house here. I'll feed you good fiber. So that's probably more immediate. A more immediate something that I'll do. I'll tell her I just a loner for a while. I don't know what it needs. I have to talk to her about that because I'm not. She is more apt to be able to repair it, and she may not have the time. I don't know if hubby and I could or not. I have to talk to her about it. It's a little. It's a little ironic. My daughter does not come on the stream because of her working and time constraints and everything. I mean, I can talk things about her and whatever. She'll never know. One of these days she'll pop on here and I won't know it and she'll say, I heard that. This is spinning so much nicer than my Rologs because the comb takes out all the junk, right? I'm getting a much smoother yarn. If I combine this with the other one, this will be like the ribbing or, something that needs to be a nice smooth knitted area. There's some junk. My daughter was, let's do the math here. She's, hang on. She was born in 78. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, she's 43. I was going to say that, but that actually didn't sound quite right, but it is. She's 43. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she's that middle generation there. She's not a millennial. I don't know what she is. Maybe Gen X. Yeah. I've never really paid attention to what they were calling them. And, they didn't stick, they really don't stick like, even if they label you, there really is not, it's not in use, right? It's not a general big thing in use in language. But we are very, very close. We have a really good mother-daughter relationship. She's just ever much a very good adult friend. It's daughter too, but adult friend too. Alright, I need just a tad more speed. It's not long drying as well now. Probably some weight to the bobbin. There we go. Better. I have one that's two that's 100% Texel. But these that I found on the bottom of the bag are just absolutely crunched, squished, flattened. They look like pancakes. Almost done with the carding of my Jacob. I have 10 bats made. I'm guessing maybe 4 more bats. Not hard, it's hard to tell when it's, laying in a bag waiting to go on the drum carder. And that's another thing. I have another obligation on Sunday. I will not be streaming my normal time, and I'm hoping to start those bats on Sunday, and I can't decide whether to stream early or late. I'm leaning very much towards streaming around 7 in the evening, Sunday evening. It's probably what I'm going to do. I have noticed the few times I've been on Twitch looking for something to watch, there's very few people that stream on Sunday. Now, the problem with the late is I don't catch the European people at all. The good thing about the late is I can catch some of the California people where this is so early, right? This time of the day is kind of good to catch European people that are 6 hours ahead. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do it a later one. Do it 7 to 9. That'll be nice. Spin before I get ready for bed. So what did you think of your fiber? Did you at least feel it? Open it up and feel it? And does the processing look good? Where can you tell me where you got it from? Oh, you Etsy. You told me it was an Etsy store. I remember now. Nice sheepy smell. Okay. Called BZB. BZB. Okay. I'm gonna write that down. Check them out. Not that I need anything, right? Yeah. Like that ever works. Oh, I'll finish this and then, Jamie, I'll show you my single that I was doing Tuesday. It's still on the nitty knotty, but you can see how it fluffed up. In fact, my next big challenge with it is, okay, so I want to weave with it. First of all, I gotta get upstairs and get my loom. I have a small square loom. But second of all, I got to figure out, I think, I'm almost tempted to leave it on the nitty knotty instead of winding it on itself because it's so fuzzy it'll catch, right? And that's going to help it sort of break apart. I remember you talking about that. Yeah, that was a good deal. Here we go. Because you were so watching. Okay, so this is the original, the small sample skein I made. And by the way, these are going to get submitted, like maybe cleaned up a little bit, but for the passport. And this isn't working. Let me go to the full face here. Okay, there we go. So there's lots of ties right where it drifted apart, but if you look, you can see how softly spun it is and unspun. Right? I'm very, very happy with it. This is Navajo Churro. And if I take this single and, use it to weave with between the weft things, which are not going to be a Navajo Churro, after I submit the skeins for the passport, then I'll work on a weaving project. It's not soft to the touch, but it's soft in appearance, and it's going to have that really, really fuzzy look on anything that I weave with it, especially if I don't pack it down real tight and everything. So I'm happy with it, I consider the project a success. I don't, the people who are submitting the yarn for the passport, they're gorgeous yarns, right? They're perfectly spun. They look beautiful. This is going to be like, yeah, people are going to look at this and say, that's terrible spinning. Well, no, it's not terrible spinning. It's just very different and has a different use and a different reason for existing, right? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I'm pretty happy with it. And it probably will be the topic of the first podcast I release, to be honest with you. Talking about the 2 different times that I streamed about it, and hopefully by then I will have the loom and have a little bit of idea how it's working, the outcome. I could always send hubby upstairs to get the loom. I have to draw him a map, but that's okay. He'll come down and say, I can't find it, so I'll give him more details. And eventually he does. That's right. I was trying something different. That has been the story of my spinning over all these years. Yeah, I'm making yarn, but I'm learning about the fiber. I am not going to have enough. This is going to be really hard to judge. I have a feeling that's about enough for plying with that. And so maybe I'll split this into 2 bobbins. That way I can self-ply it. I have to figure out when to stop here. What to put on this next bobbin. Tunis. Oh, I have sparkle too. I have stuff that's sparkly. Let's do some of that too. All right, I think I will call this 1 bobbin. I could probably save myself a headache and try and weigh this, but really, seriously, I don't think I could. I don't think I could. I also don't know how this is going to spin. This is... Nope. Alright, that's not going to spin. Let's take that off. A lot of this stuff is waste. I mean, not waste, but the end of spinning, making the roll logs and stuff, and it's a little lumpy. Alright. I probably should have put these bits and bobs in the filming bag, but it's done now. Ooh. Need to stretch my knee. Alright, come on. Draft out. There we go. Tea is cold, but not gone. It just time for a haircut, but my appointment is not until a couple more weeks. So, hair is constantly in my face. That music is so soothing. Not sure it's the best for a daytime stream, but I sure like it. You don't traditionally spin top long draw. That's another thing that kind of makes it unusual. Long draw is supposed to be fluffy and put air in it and all that, right? And top is, and so when you use roving and long draw, you get that air trapped in there. When you use top, which is all in a line, the fibers want to spin together tighter and all in a line, and you don't get the fluffiness. I'm okay with that. It's just something to consider if you're envisioning a certain kind of yarn. And I get off on this topic because truly, for years and years and years of my spinning, I would say, well, I let the fiber tell me what kind of yarn it wanted to be. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You're spinning for the joy of spinning. But on the other hand, you know, maybe you don't want some more bulky weight yarn. You want something different, right? And that's when you get into looking at how the fiber is prepped and what you can do about it. I love the way the little bits just pop right up off of the, there it is. You can see it on my knee there. You just pop right up on top.
Okay. I should be here. I got another hour. Wasn't even watching the time. Well, that's pretty good. Hour per bobbin. God, this is spinning nice. Excuse me, this is really spinning nice. I didn't say that. I used to, in the podcast, I would say over and over and over, oh, the top spun so nice. I love spinning top. It's true. It is the primo prep. A lot of work to do on your own, and sometimes difficult to work with as a commercial prep because it gets pretty compacted. You have to really open it up. So, has its pros and cons. And it really does spin lovely. Okay, that's going too thin. Let me slow down the uptake here. Yep, that's what I needed. So if your single's going too thin, you don't know what to do with it, decrease your pull-in. However that works on your spinning wheel. I kind of missed a hook. Let me go back here and fill that one in. Still have too strong a pull-in, although I am almost up here because I'm stopping after this. It's just not wanting to do the long draw thicker. Just wants to thin right out. Goodness. There we go. Alright, we're going to start a second bobbin here, and the plan is that some is going to get plied with the leftover alpaca single, and some is going to get plied back to this mix. Originally, this is called changing your mind on the fly, but I originally thought I would put it all on one, but I realized that I don't have that much of the alpaca single to ply with, so I'm going to need 2 bobbins to finish it up. The Tunis wool is very springy. So, you know, the old nest of top that I had pulled off is compacted, but as soon as I give it a little bit of room to breathe, boy, it just kind of jumps right on it and springs right up. Let's see here. It feels pretty good. Did you hear my phone ring? I am one of the rare breeds that still has a landline, and that is because we live down in a valley and don't have real good cell phone service in the valley, so we don't depend on our cell phones for phone calls here at the house. We still use a landline. Oh, that's not good looking. Alright, need more pulling. I oiled it, and once you do that, things get a little slipperier, smoother. Don't have the grip to make the pull in. There we go. should have stretched when I changed bobbins. I will do that as soon as I finish this. Definitely a stretch break time. Uh-oh. There we go. Thank you for the have your water too. I will. Good idea. Thank you. This is the spinner's equivalent of just 10 more stitches, just one more row, whatever, right? Let me just finish these rovings and then I'll stretch. I'm gonna finish the round 4 and then I'll get water. Oh my goodness, you started that big as opposed to starting small and growing. Make sure you post a picture of that and the pattern. It's starting big and growing? Oh my goodness. Now I'm really anxious to see it. I need big shawls. Everything I end up knitting in these lace ones, I can stretch them, block them, but then they kind of go back where they don't feel big enough. Don't stay blocked. Okay, stretch break. Oh yeah, that feels good. Yeah, my tea's all gone, so we're on the water mug now. You start with a kind of cast on for a toe-up sock. So it's 145 stitches on each side. Then you go around increasing to make a long hexagon. Oh, how neat. It sounds like that'd be really good for variegated yarn, maybe a little pooling kind of yarn. That'd be really neat. I think I need to split this into 2 here. part of a bat. What was left of the carded bat. It's kind of there. Yeah, you're using a gradient. Okay. Oh, a gradient would be really good. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I want, I wanted the gradient to radiate out, but I didn't want to make a pie shawl. Yeah, sounds really cool. Question is whether it will work with other fibers and um, wraps per inch, because I mean everything I have that I would want to use hand spun, and everything I have is probably going to be DK in that kind of quantity. It's lace weight, yeah. Oh, and you're using sport. Okay, good. Yeah, it should. What? It should be bigger, I think. Okay. Oh, you're okay. Yeah, that should make it about the same size then. Adjusting it. It'll be denser, which is okay. I think anyway. Oh. That's good. That's perfect then. Yeah.
it's mostly stockinette. So be able to knit without thinking. Be a nice thing to pick up between more other
Complex patterns, yeah.
I don't have anything like that right now. Oh, yes, I do. I have one, but I haven't been wanting to pick it up. I have one that is just garter stitch, and it's bulky yarn, and I'm basically making a rug. I'm just doing stripes of color of hand spun for a rug. For some reason, it's on great big bulky needles, so I have to be in the mood to pick it up. I know. Well, you're putting your needles down and you're typing. You probably have a cat on your lap, you know. Yeah, it sounds like it could be really elegant if you made it in just a really nice, almost like a silk yarn. Ooh, wouldn't that be pretty? Or maybe a tencel. Tencel would have shimmer to it. That would be nice. I have some tencel. I've been trying to figure out what pattern to use it with. It's two different colors. I would have to alternate the colors somehow instead of a gradient or any kind of progression. It'd end up being more of a stripe, I guess, or a block, color block. Yeah, there's something about, and they're straight needles, right? It's not a circular, because I'm just going back and forth. And there is something about having the weight on your hands of the bulky project and the big needles. It is. It's kind of uncomfortable knitting. But you know, I have made yarn over the years that I have a bright orange and a bright yellow, which is in there with a brown, and I'm like, I don't know what to, and it ended up spinning bulky. I don't know what to do with it, so it's a good use for it, and I'll get it done eventually. I just want it beside my bed for winters, you know, step on it in the winter.
thin it out. I see an escapee. I have a nest of top down on the floor underneath the spinning wheel. There are so many times, I lay fiber out on my lap like that and really don't realize it, and I get up and there's more to spin on the floor when I think I'm done. One time when my spinning chair was in the living room and I moved the chair, I found something that had gone under the skirt of the chair, and oh my gosh, that project was long gone. But I can't blame the cat. It was not the cat's fault. He doesn't mess with the fiber. I left my door open today, but he didn't wander by. So, no visit today. He's probably somewhere pouting because he saw the suitcase. They're leaving me. Who's gonna feed me? I'm gonna have to hunt my own food. Like he doesn't already, When we go on vacation, which generally means go down to Florida to see my mom, and we're gone at least 10 days, if not 2 weeks. Of course, he's being looked after by my daughter. Comes out every other day and gets him water and more dry food, gives him a thing of wet food, and he does not use a litter box. I haven't cleaned a litter box for 5 years, which is wonderful because he has a cat door and he just goes in and out, uses it outside, so don't have to worry about that. He can come and go while we're gone. So, I don't worry about him when I leave, but I miss him. And he has this certain purr that gets, the more he purrs, the higher and squeakier it gets when we come home. And he gets on my lap, for the first time after we've been gone. It is so funny. I mean, it's the only time he purrs like that. Like, I guess, almost a kitten purr, And he's the only cat I've ever had that did it. The other cats I've had, and I've had plenty over the years, they were snooty, right? They were like, you think I'm gonna sit on your lap after you left me for a week? Right? Yeah, he is probably sleeping somewhere. He tends to sleep upstairs. And my mom lives in Central Florida. So, it's at least a 2-day drive for us from Kentucky to go down there. And you would probably fly. But however, I am pretty sure your mom is younger than my mom. So every time I go, it's like I'm so glad I got to go, and I try to go every couple months. It was harder during last year, but it's gonna get easier. Right. I need more pull in. Oh, I'm sorry. I agree with you. I do not like flying at all. I used to. And then they changed everything, And I understand the security reasons. I understand that. But once they changed all that, it just no longer, once they started making you take your shoes off, it just wasn't the same. And the planes seem to have gotten smaller, more packed. So, yeah, lots of reasons. Airports are crazy. I'm not as able to run from one gate to another. We have a terrible time going through Atlanta, and I bet you go through Atlanta too. Maybe not, but oh my gosh. They never schedule the gates near each other. They're always the other end, other concourse, other end of the airport. So we got to the point where when we did fly, we always scheduled at least 2-3 hours in between. Got something to eat. It made us get in a lot later, and we would fly more when I was working because I wouldn't have that much time off. So we would fly to get there right away. Now we just drive. I actually love driving. I really enjoy it. I keep my eye out for signboards of, places to stop and maybe a good place to eat. I like traveling that way. I totally understand. I seem to have saved a lot of the alpaca to the end. I guess, I don't know, I kept thinking I needed to spread it out more, but ending up with all alpaca here. Not really, but close to. Doesn't really matter. Jamie, have you spun alpaca yet? Oh, this one is little. Okay. Not too much more to do. My legs are telling me it's getting time to stop. We'll see. Oops. This tunis is nice and soft. The yarn is going to be next to the skin soft, which is good. Because alpaca is soft. This is what I have left. Oh, nope. Gotta do the sparkle. Don't know how much of that actually will get spun, but let's start with that. Oh. Oops. Okay. That's getting no good. These aren't even in any formation, top, roving, anything like that. They're just puffs cleaned off of the blending board. When you do that intentionally, they're called clouds. You spin from clouds. Icelandic Thel is the most common breed that is spun that way. And Thel is the soft undercoat. Well, it doesn't pay to pull your what you're spinning over what you are going to spin when there's vegetable matter falling out. That's kind of not smart. Let's get that out of the way there. Oh, I'm getting sparkly all over my slacks. The Firestar must not be sticking in the clumps of fiber. This is called a Roberta. The maker is Australian, I think. Oops. Click in the box before you type. I believe that is the way it's spelled, and the spinning wheel is a Roberta electric. It's one of the first electrics that were around. I've had this for at least 12 years, maybe more, because electrics kind of caught on later, but there were a few other makers of electrics, but the Roberta was a pretty common one to buy. Okay, I really am not spinning most of this. Seemed like a good idea, but it really isn't that good of fiber. Some of it, where it truly just came off of the blending board, is alright, but stuff that was at the end of a roll log is not. Oh, that's tons of glitz. Will that spin? It's all glitz. Sure. We can get that in there. Alright. One tiny little strand of intense sparkle.
last bit.
More empty bags. That's always a woohoo. We'll end with this big bit of alpaca. Problem with empty bags is I keep filling them back up with stuff. That's all right. I mean, I'm reusing them, but it's not like I can count them down like you do with your skeins of yarn. One thing about drum carding alpaca, which is these are coming from drum carded bats. I'm just stretching them out so they look like top, but or roving. The one thing about drum carding, especially on my drum carder, which has a fine set of teeth, so there's a lot of teeth per inch. The alpaca is kind of long, and it'll get tangled back on itself. You get little tangles in it. Try not to include those in the yarn. They don't draft well, of course. It's not all over. It's not like neps in a bad, processed roving or anything like that. It's not that bad. But you'll be going along and you'll like, why does that look tangled? And I know that's where it's coming from when I drum card I don't get it when I'm using my combs for top. like that. Hit my speed dial. Forget where I was. That'll do. Alright. So close. It feels so productive. I have to apply it yet. I'll let it sit a day or two. Apply it Saturday maybe. Ooh, be bold. Owie. stopping and starting because there's vegetable matter in here. And one piece of glitz. That's funny. That should be just about the end of it here. It's all messed up. Pull it out as straight as we can, but there's some snarls and it's getting super thin, and I think I'm calling that. Oh, wait, here. Let me check the floor. No, don't see any on the floor. Here's a little bit that looks pretty good. I'll add alpaca. My trash can is fluffy. Went into the trash can. Wow, it's stuck on my crinkle pants here. All right. Feels good to have that done. Got 2 of them. I will apply those on Saturday. Right, thank you, Jamie, for sticking around with me and talking. It was great to talk to you. I hope you get a lot of knitting done and you have a wonderful couple days, and I will be back on Sunday late around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for those of you who have watched this as a video on demand, thank you, welcome, and try and join us sometime next time when I'm live. Subscribe and you'll get a little message when I go live so that you know. Alrighty. You have a good 2, 3 days. Happy summer. It's hot here. Until later, happy spinning.